We in Yarmouth have inherited a beautiful community. And if we should forget, someone from somewhere else will remind us, what a great town. How lucky can we be? Yes, it is a beautiful town, but it's not by accident. Throughout more than 250 years of history, our forebears built durable houses from old-growth wood, the likes of which we will never see again, and decorated them with interesting detailing of multiple sorts that consistently reflected the style that was current at the time. The people who built these structures may long be dead, but they speak to us today through the architectural legacy that they left behind. They tell us what they valued: community. Look at how these homes are clustered closely together. And faith. Nothing we build today compares to the churches of yesteryear and their steeples. And beauty. They put careful thought into the design of their houses. They placed a high value on aesthetics. Many of our historic houses were built in the lower and upper villages. The lower village, historically Falls Village, reflects the legacy of shipbuilding, even though little evidence remains of the numerous shipyards active along the waterfront throughout the 19th century. But shipbuilders were also house builders, and several of their houses remain on East Main Street. These include Stockbridge Hall, with the main house built about 1790 and occupied by Deacon Calvin Stockbridge from a shipbuilding family. Deacon's brother, William Stockbridge, was a shipbuilder and owner, merchant, and manufacturer, and built this house about 1810. It still retains its gorgeous fanlight and 12/12 windows. And Jeremiah Baker lived just down the street in this 1848 house, which overlooked his shipyard and wharf. While across the Royal River on the hill on Main Street sits the unique Gothic-style Alfred Seabury House, built for a member of another prominent shipbuilding family. Atop the hill sits North Yarmouth Academy, founded in 1814, 35 years before Yarmouth and North Yarmouth separated, and it served as the public high school for Yarmouth until 1961. The earliest legacy are these two brick, granite, and wooden buildings, Russell Hall and Academy Hall. Russell Hall was built in 1841 and is a beautiful example of the Greek Revival style, which was a tribute to the Greeks who had the first democracy. And Academy Hall is too a Greek Revival building, which is crowned by a beautiful wooden belvedere. Small mills, including sawmills and gristmills, were always a part of our early history, lining the first falls of the Royal River. Major mills at the third and fourth falls were a key part of the town's later 19th and early 20th century economy. Now, little remains of these mills except for Sparhawk Mill at the second falls and its environs. Just up the hill stands the 1840 Phillip Kimball house, an earlier mill owner, and just across the street are boarding houses built from that same era to house the workers. Yarmouth has had more than 50 mills in its history, and today we're lucky to have this little area as Yarmouth's only remaining intact mill district. Of the major mills at the third and fourth falls, including Forest Paper Company, only small remnants are left. The mills are reflected in the buildings in the upper village, also called Corner Village or Yarmouthville historically, including this 1862 brick block, one of only two historic brick commercial buildings built in Yarmouth. And it housed Marston's dry goods store for more than 100 years. Dr. Ammi Mitchell built this cape with an offset central chimney in the 1780s when Center Street was way out in the country. He served 11 terms on the Massachusetts legislature, as well as being a medical doctor and founding trustee of both North Yarmouth Academy and Bowdoin College. About 20 years later, Dr. Mitchell built this elegant, high-style federal house on Main Street. The Mitchell houses were soon joined by Greek Revival-style houses from the mid-19th century, including the Captain Samuel Baker House here on Center Street. Later, Italianate-style houses, including Ansel Loring's, were built in this area. He was a participant in the California Gold Rush and returned to Yarmouth to become a mill owner. Now, the Thomas Brown House, also on Center Street, shows an interesting transition in style. It has the basic look of a Greek temple with a pediment at the top. but yet it's showing the brackets, and it has an offset center doorway, which also leads into the Italianate with all those brackets. Builders really stuck to the style when they were building, whatever was current at the time. And as styles changed, you see in transitional buildings elements of both styles, the old and the new coming in. This high-style Italianate house was home to Captain Sylvanus Blanchard, while down West Main Street on the edge of town is the Captain Reuben Merrell house, which is still owned by his family. We enjoy these buildings today because of the wonderful stewardship of their owners, some of which was more publicly done, like this beautiful Grand Trunk Railroad Depot, which for nearly 50 years the Village Improvement Society maintained. It was recently sold through Maine Preservation, which retained a preservation easement on the structure, and rehabilitated by Ford Reike for Gorham Savings Bank. The 1796 Meeting House, one of Yarmouth's most iconic buildings, comes down to us because of the great stewardship of many, including most recently that of the town of Yarmouth, which owns it, and the Village Improvement Society, which maintains it. Much of the stewardship is the quiet, private, daily efforts made over the centuries by each building owner. While several houses have been passed down from one generation to the next, the owner's stewardship of the vast majority of these houses is brief. Today, our mobile society, combined with the attraction of one of Maine's best school systems, has brought many to town who leave after the last family graduation. And that is what worries me and others who care about Yarmouth's architectural heritage. Over the span of centuries, it takes only one owner to diminish or destroy the work of generations. Yarmouth has relied on luck to keep our community strong and beautiful. The town has not adopted any historic preservation standards or even guidelines. How long can we count on luck? We have an opportunity today to preserve the beautiful town that our predecessors worked so hard to leave to us, so that future generations can appreciate and enjoy it too. Doing so requires a community-wide conversation about how to affordably preserve the things we value, while allowing property owners to make changes that accommodate technology and climate change goals and meet the needs of our families. In the end, it's about respect. Respecting our community, respecting our heritage, and respecting each other. We can do this, Yarmouth.